There are two things that make Parks an amazing game. The first is the art and the aesthetics and the components, and I'll just show you that rather than talk about it. And the other is just the gameplay. It's really simple and it goes pretty quickly. To have a worker placement that lasts 30 minutes to 60 minutes is kind of nice. I don't think I have any in my collection right now that lasts less than an hour. Usually 2 hours is the average, so having this is wonderful. So I'm just gonna show you because it is breathtaking how beautiful this game is. Even like the rule book and this little card to talk about the partnership between the artists and the forests and the designers, it's just wonderful. You have these two component trays. Get the board here, and even look at the layout of all the components themselves. Everything has its place. So you have a spot for this particular piece, and I'll show you how it all works together. You got some angled pieces here. You got the trailhead, another specific piece with the enamel first player token. My goodness. All the Parks cards with the camera token. Fits right in there. All the pictures, these are victory point tokens, and you got the 2 decks of cards that you can pull up really easily. So already the components in the box and the way it's laid out is just fantastic. It's such an amazing attention to detail piece of work that makes, you know, we haven't even played the game and I'm already having a fun time. So you can see how beautiful it is. You can see it through the card art on the back, on the front. Every single victory point token, it's a photograph. That's kind of the theme. You're walking through nature, taking photographs, and all of them have their own artwork as well. It's just such great detail. So I won't put it off any longer. I'll set this up and show you a little bit of the gameplay and why I like it. It's not anything novel or exciting in itself, but it all adds up to just really solid worker placement with, you know, maybe there is something a little novel with how you do it. These little pieces here are pretty interesting, but we'll set it up, see how it goes. All right, now with it set up, I can kind of show already again how amazingly beautiful this game is. All the art and all the components put together is just really pleasing. And so this game has some variety in its setup. These little trail cards get shifted around, parks, gear, seasons, the canteens each person starts with. These are all things that change each round because they get shuffled up and stuff. And the premise of the game is you have 2 hikers. So I'm blue, this player is purple. And it's a worker placement game. So you put the worker down and do the thing. You know, it makes sense. If you're hiking a trail, you're just going towards the end of the trail. So once you put a worker down and do the thing, so in this case, I'll grab a water drop and a forest. I get the bonus and the thing. Then the next person goes. She can jump all the way over here, get the star and the 2 water drops. Now, you can choose either one of your workers, but you always have to move to the right. You can't occupy the same space as another. And this makes sense. It feels like the game is matching up themes and mechanics. You know, when you're hiking, you're not going backwards, you're going forward. So I can't move this guy back 1, but I can trudge on forward. I'll just jump to the end here, get a water drop and the mountain token. And the point of getting these tokens is so that, you know, if this person grabs that, maybe I use my second one to go here for another forest. But the point is that you're doing these things to get points. And so this purple guy can take photos now that he's on the vista to take photos. So trade some stuff, take a photo. These are all 1 point each. So taking photos, that's one way to get points. The other way, I think the primary way is going to the trail end, you can visit a park, buying a park card, visiting a park. So if I can pay the cost of one of these, so I've got 2 forests, so this is worth 2 points. And then we replace it. And I think at this point, you kind of get the idea of the game. You're moving your hikers, you're collecting resources. Those resources can be used to buy points. They can be used, a lot of the sun ones are used to buy upgrades so that you get all sorts of benefits. You can trade things and do things. There's wild tokens as well. That's what the wildlife tokens are. These are wild, and each one of them is a different, unique animal. My goodness, that's fabulous. The wildlife token is wild. And so you get to the end, everyone does the things that they want to do. That's the end of season 1. And in a year, there's 4 seasons, so we play 4 rounds. We add a new trail. So each round, it gets a little longer, but not that much. Now, the interesting tension of the game and the strategy is you want to be going on your merry way, collecting resources. So I get stars, I get forest. But there's this tension between gathering enough resources and getting to the parks to buy your points first. So you can skip any number of steps you want. If I really want to buy, let's say I want to buy this card before my opponent does, I can take one of my guys and go all the way to the end. I miss out on the opportunity to get more resources, but I get the card that I wanted to, and that can be an important strategy. The other thing you can do is, like, if I'm really gung-ho about grabbing bonuses and I'm using up all my resources, essentially I'm just cashing in on the resources I have and losing the opportunity to gain more. Because now my opponent is here. Once there's only one trail, one hiker left, then they have to go to the end. They're forced to. But you know, if she's got 2 out here, she could just take her time gathering tons and tons of resources before committing to the end. So there's this nice tension of push and pull between getting the victory points that you have the resources for before the other person, but also balancing that with gathering enough resources so that you can continue that process of getting points, of trading things in, of essentially gaining enough, just enough to beat out your opponents. So I think this game is a great mashup of theme, mechanics, and they blow every piece of component quality and art and manufacturing. Like, everything is just outstanding. It's a small box game, 30 to 60 minutes for a worker placement game. And after the next day, I realized I don't think I have anything that I can do worker placement in such a short amount of time. And I like having that in my collection. So I think Parks is a fabulous game, and it's really relaxing to play. So those are my thoughts on Parks. So there's Parks. So there's Parks.